Hello there, and welcome to a little tutorial video on how to create your own custom session template. We will talk a little bit about why we use them, how to set up your database, your charts, and then finding the right solution for each instrument. But first of all, what is a trading session? So a trading session is 1 day of business in a financial market from open to close. And within this time frame, all orders for the day must be placed. So during this time, buyers and sellers influence market prices. Originally, a trading session referred to the floor session when traders and brokers would meet physically in the trading pit. Since then, the concept of a trading session has broadened, especially after the introduction of electronic markets. So for example, if we display the S&P 500 E-mini contract with a default session template, you will get a chart from 5 p.m. Central Time to 4 p.m. Central Time. So this includes the night session, the regular session, and the evening session. And all of those sessions together is what we call the Globex session. Why do we want to use different sessions? Well, we know that the S&P futures contract is also traded during the European and Asian sessions. And it does, in fact, contain some usual information. Many other instruments are also traded around the clock. So the highs and the lows of the Asian and European sessions will have important pivots that a lot of times are tested during the US regular session. Also, the price action overnight is more recent than that of yesterday's regular session, and therefore our indicators should be able to access these price points as well. So to sum up, it's important to work with charts that reference the previous night regular and evening session as well. And we can gain access to these price levels by using the default instrument settings as defined by the NinjaTrader Instrument and Session Manager. So let's have a look at that. The default setting will be found by just opening your chart like this, and then go into have a look at your data series settings, and you will see here the session template that is selected is the instrument setting default. And to find out what the default setting is, you will need to get into the instrument manager. So let's just go ahead and pull up a chart and get into that. Look at the instrument manager. So you go in here into tools, and we can continue here with the Australian dollar. So we go in here, and here I have created a certain currency template for this particular one. So that's what's as a template for this. But usually you will have a CME currency template as a default in this. So you will most likely have, let's see where this one, CME FX futures ETH for this one is what you will have as a default, and that's what will show up here. And to go and have a look at how that session template is set up, we go in here, and you can exit this, and then we will find here the session manager. And in the session manager, we will again find this CME FX futures ETH template, which is showing us these times here starting Sunday 5 p.m. and going until Monday 4 p.m. as I mentioned earlier. And this is Central Time because that's where this currency contract is out of the CME is based. So the CME is based in Chicago, and that's why we have that here. All right, so let's get back into the presentation here. So this is what I just showed you. You go into the contract and you choose edit, and then you get this instrument editor up, and you can look at what kind of session template you have in there by default. And this is also what I showed you in the session manager. You go in there and you pull up the menu, and you will be able to see what trading times are reflected in the actual template. So for most instruments, important volatility and volume levels are created during the regular trading hours, and that's what we call the RTH. It's therefore useful to distinguish between this particular session and the other sessions. Commodities, equities, and bond markets all have really strong pit traditions, and may therefore have a bias towards price benchmarks created during the regular session. That's where the institutional traders have their office hours, and where a lot of times the rubber hits the road. So it makes sense to pay attention to what happens for these local markets during the local trading times. But for Forex markets, it's a little bit different because there was never really a local exchange with local trading times that influenced the entire markets. So therefore, you may want to include also the electronically traded hours, and that will make for the most appropriate session template for Forex instruments. It's a global market, so you want to have all the price points available to you when you're using and trading those markets. But let's talk a little bit further about commodities, equities, and bonds. If we want to isolate the regular trading session, first we need to know when that time window is. So that will be a little bit different for index and commodity and bond futures in the US, and obviously different if you're looking at European markets. And so you want to isolate these high and low points of the regular session by adding session breaks and dividing the day into 3 sub-sessions, basically, is what we do in order to gain additional control of how to display this price information. So to do that, you go back into the session manager and you're going to create a new session template. And guess we can just go ahead and look at this example here. So in this case, we named it Session Trader for ES. I'll go back in the control center after this slide and show you step by step how to do this. And you name it, and then you start adding these trading times. So the first trading time for the S&P E-mini futures contract, this session starts at 5 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, and it goes to the regular open, which is 8:30 on Monday. That's the first session. That's the night session. And then we check that we entered our times correctly. And then we go ahead and add the next. And that will be the regular session on Monday. So that goes from 8:30 on Monday to 3:15 on Monday. Actually, there was an update in these trading times, but I'll get back to that towards the end. There is a specific reason why we continue to use the old session trading times here. So stick around until the end of this presentation to find out the reasoning for that. And then we go ahead and check again that we entered the regular session correctly. And we hit add again to create a new session. And that is the evening session going from 4:30 until 3:15. It's really until, excuse me, 3:30 until 4 o'clock. It's really, this is the session that we've decided to go with the old session trading time. So as I said, stick around until the end for the explanation on that. And don't let yourself get confused by this little digression here. I will now show you how to set this up in the control center. Here you see we've added the first session here, and we've controlled to check that everything was entered correctly. So let's go ahead into the control center and our chart here and have a look at how we do this. So you go into the session manager here. That's the first step. You go to new, and let's just go ahead and create a sample listed trader -ES template, and we control or check that we have the correct exchange time. That is, of course, very important. You want to work with the time zone of your exchange in order to make sure that you have the right times. So the first session here starts at 5 p.m. on Sunday, and it goes until 8:30 a.m. Monday. And then we hit add again, and this is the regular session from 8:30 until 3 Monday. And then we add the evening session, which goes from 2:30 until 4:15, 4 o'clock, but we choose 4:15 here in order to include the historical data. And then for Tuesday, the night session, it starts on Monday, 5 p.m. and it goes until 8:30 in the morning on Tuesday. That's the start of the regular session. And so it goes throughout the week. We add here the next will be from Tuesday 8:30 until 3:15 p.m. on Tuesday, and then the last on Tuesday would be from 4:30 until 4:15. Okay, and then once you're done with that, you save it, and what you will see then is, well, just hit save here and get out of this, and then go back into the presentation. What you will see then is session breaks added to your chart, and those are in fact what will allow you to exercise additional control on how to display the price information on your charts. So an InnoTrader obviously displays charts in local time as set per your PC clock. So depending on where you are in the world and the markets you trade, there may be a time difference with the appropriate exchange. And using these session templates is a really essential method to keep track of the relevant trading hours for your instruments. This is especially true with respect to the daylight saving time issue that exists between Europe and the US. There is a 2 weeks difference with regards to making this adjustment. So there's a point in time where the US will be on summertime and Europe will be on winter time and vice versa. And therefore, it's really important to plot these vertical lines at the regular market open, and another for the evening session, and finally one for the night session, giving you a clear idea of what's actually happening at all times, because your charts will automatically refer to the local exchange time, regardless of the time zones that you're in. So once you have this set up correctly, the price data can be accessed by the Lizard session indicators. For the session pivots, all indicators can be used with daily or intraday data. For full session Globex or for Forex pivots, the indicators should be set to ETH, and the template should be used that covers the full contractual trading time. And that template may consist of one or several subsessions. For the regular floor session pivots, a specific regular trading session should be used as described in this video. So let's just have a quick look at that in the chart here. So here we have crude, and as you see here, I have isolated this session. The regular session here is starting here at 9 o'clock local time, New York time, and going until 2:30 Eastern, and that is the regular session. And as you see here, we have the night session is starting over here, and that goes until the regular session here. So that would be from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m. until 9 o'clock a.m. And then finally we have the evening session, and the evening session goes from 2:30 until 2:30 p.m. until 5:15 Eastern time. All right, so those are the different sessions, and as you can see here, I am referencing the low and the high of the regular session to create these pivots here. And I do so by selecting the RTH session here, and it's referencing here the second session. And if you count, this is the first session, this is the second session, and this is the third session. So I'm able here to isolate this particular price action. If I were to use the ETH session, then I would start, I would use this here as the low, and I would reference this here as the high, and that obviously would create completely different pivot levels for the current session. So let's go ahead and see how I do that. If we change this around here, we will have different pivot levels. And as you can see, now we're referencing this low level down here, and we have a different location of the main pivot, and we have also different support and resistance levels as a result of this. So let's go ahead and change it back to the regular floor pivots again. And as you can see, we have a much smaller range here, and we see much more of the support and resistance levels than we do in the with the ETH setting. All right, so we can also use the different session breaks for the volume weighted average price package, including the range weighted average price and the TWAP. However, we generally recommend to use all of those indicators with the ETH template consisting of one or several subsessions. You only need the subsessions if you want to calculate the average price and standard deviation bands for the regular session only, but we don't recommend that because the VWAP is really most useful if you use it on the entire session. So I can just show you quickly the reason for that, and see here. I'll locate the current day VWAP here. We're going to take off the pivots to clean this up a little bit, and we hit OK. And as you see here, I can make these a little bit thicker and easier to see. So let's put this to 3. And okay. So here we see it's starting here at the beginning of the night session. It's anchored at this. Now we can change this to the regular session as well, and you will see why it doesn't really make sense to use that, because the VWAP really needs some time to put on weight, and this is just jumping around a little bit too much during the regular session. So we want to include this price data for the overnight session, and looking at the volume in the regular session, that is gobbled up pretty quickly. So it's just putting on some extra weight on this in order to create this value area that we're using for the VWAP. But at least you have the possibility to isolate the regular session as well if you would like to do that. All right. So as I mentioned, there was an update in the session template for index futures and NYMEX traded instruments. They close at 4 p.m. Central, 15 minutes earlier than previously. And generally, we do adapt the session templates to the trading times of the underlying markets. However, we need to consider what is the appropriate session template when doing backtesting for system trading, which is an important part of what we're doing here at LittleTrader. And therefore, we had a quick look at this. So this is the old template, as I just went through here a couple of times. So starting 5 p.m., going to the start of the regular session, and then you have the regular session for the S&P. This is so from 8:30 to 3:15 p.m. and then 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. That's the old session template, and the new one is just a 15-minute difference on the tail end of the evening session. So it's quite easy to see here that the best choice is to use the old session template, because if you're testing on previous data before September 21st, 2015, you will lose these 15 minutes if you adapt a new session template. So there are no really disadvantages by using the old template. NinjaTrader will display exactly the same bars as when using the new template. We have not really found a single reason to switch to the new session template at this time. However, there is an important reason not to switch, of course. All charts chart data prior to September 20th will be incomplete or incorrect because these last 15 minutes will be lacking. So depending on how far back you want to test your systems, you want to keep that in mind. So by keeping your current session template, it will work with the past trading hours, which is, of course, important for accurate backtesting results. And, of course, it will also work with future trading hours because all available data will be recorded. So, yeah, it's important to maintain accurate backtest results to keep the old session template for the next few years. And as I said, we do not recommend changing the session templates at this point because it will result in truncated charts for trading period prior to September 20th, 2015. All right, so I think that wraps up everything I had to say about creating a custom session template for today. I hope this video was informative for you. I really appreciate your feedback in the comment form below here. Yeah, tell me what you got out of it. Like it if you like it. Give me constructive feedback if you like. Subscribe to the channel. Love that. And if you found it useful, feel free to share it as well with your trading buddies. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you in the Lizard Trader members section soon. Until then, bye-bye.